So, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, has passed away. You can't help but having noticed that, certainly if you're in this country, as there's been wall-to-wall coverage over the last few days. Whatever you think about the amount of coverage, what has struck me is that, well, he's one of those few people who has always been around all of my life. There's always been the Queen and Prince Philip. And there aren't many others that are left, actually. Most that I knew from my childhood have passed away. My mum and dad passed away years ago. My older brother is still there, and I'm really pleased about that. But so many that I knew when I was younger or knew of have gone. And that got me thinking. I conduct funerals, as many of you know. When I started conducting funerals, which was over 15 years ago now, one of the early ones I did was of a lady who, as a 5-year-old, one of her earliest memories was being taken down to Queen's Park in Southampton and seeing the Titanic leave in 1912. Wow. And then I've done quite a lot of funerals for people who fought during the Second World War, Normandy veterans and others. What I've noticed now is that there's not many of those funerals left, and most funerals that I'm doing which mention the war are people who were children at that time. And the other thing I've noticed is I like the music more now that people are choosing at funerals. And you know why? Because they're more my generation. So music is being picked for them that they liked and I like as well, because it's part of my youth. And all that got me thinking about a psalm, Psalm 90. And it says this: Lord, you have been our dwelling place from generation to generation. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn man back to dust, saying, Return to dust, O sons of men, for 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by, or like a watch in the night. You sweep men away in the sleep of death. They are like new grass of the morning. Though in the morning it springs up new, by evening it is dry and withered. And then it goes on. The length of our days is 70 years, or 80 if we have the strength. Yet their span is but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass and we fly away. I don't know whether you find that depressing. I actually don't, because I think that's the reality of life, that we live our lives, something just dropped on the floor, and we come and go. But then verse 14 of Psalm 90 says this: Satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad all our days. Satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad all of our days. When the Beatles broke up, George Harrison brought out an album. It had the song My Sweet Lord on it, but the album wasn't called My Sweet Lord. He named it after another song, and he named the album All Things Must Pass. And people have always interpreted that as him saying, look, yeah, the Beatles was a phase, but they passed as well. And as I've been thinking, reflecting on the death of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, that, yeah, we all pass. But God is always there. God is always faithful. He's been there all of my life since before I was born. He'll be there with me to the end. And I find a huge comfort in that. Take care and hopefully speak to you soon. Bye-bye.